Most serial killers have more in common than you think. Whether it's a complete lack of empathy, a twisted sense of control, or eerie childhood behaviors, there are patterns that repeat in history's most notorious murderers. Psychologists have spent decades analyzing these patterns, trying to understand what drives them. Let's break down the behavioral red flags, psychological traits, and early warning signs that many of them share. Welcome back to Prison Stories. In this video, we're uncovering the shocking traits that link serial killers together, from manipulative charm to a disturbing fascination with death.
Well, I'm not an expert.
These traits appear again and again, and with each one, we'll look at real-life examples of infamous murderers who fit the profile. Take a look at some of the psychological traits first. Serial killers don't just commit horrific crimes. They think differently from the average person. Their minds are wired in ways that allow them to kill without guilt, manipulate without hesitation, and even enjoy the suffering of others. These psychological traits are some of the most common among serial murderers. Lack of empathy and remorse. One of the most chilling traits of serial killers is their complete inability to feel guilt or sympathy for their victims. No matter how brutal their crimes, they show little to no remorse. Neurologically, this isn't just a personality flaw. It's often visible in brain scans. Studies using fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, have shown that many violent offenders and psychopathic individuals display reduced activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain linked to processing emotions like fear and empathy. There's also abnormal function in the prefrontal cortex, which helps regulate impulse control and moral judgment. For example, Ted Bundy. Despite killing dozens of women, he spoke about his crimes with a cold detachment, even smiling during interviews and court appearances. Similarly, Israel Keyes admitted to multiple murders in a calm, almost casual tone, describing how he stalked his victims and planned their deaths with chilling precision, all without a trace of guilt or remorse.
Yesterday, I'm a bad guy, I tried to escape, but let's be honest, nobody really thought I was a good guy before that, so... It's not like being escaping suddenly makes me untrustworthy. I was kind of untrustworthy before that, so...
Narcissism and grandiosity. Many serial killers believe they are special, superior, or even untouchable. This arrogance makes them feel above the law and fuels their need for control. Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, sent letters to police bragging about his crimes and taunting investigators, convinced he was too smart to be caught. Jeffrey Dahmer, after being arrested, spoke about his murders with an eerie sense of control. He saw his victims as objects, something he could own.
I don't know how to put it, possess them permanently.
And that's why you killed them?
Right. Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me.
Thrill-seeking and need for control. For these killers, murder isn't just about violence. It's about the excitement, the rush, and the ultimate sense of power over life and death. Richard Ramirez, the infamous Night Stalker, terrorized entire communities, seemingly enjoying the fear he created.
They are desires, whereas if I didn't give in to them, I would be crushed.
Behavioral patterns, red flags, and early warning signs. While psychological traits shape how serial killers think, their behaviors reveal how they act. Many of these warning signs appear long before their first murder, often in childhood or early adulthood. These red flags may seem minor at first, but they escalate over time, turning into something far more sinister. Animal cruelty and violent childhood tendencies. Many serial killers start by harming animals. This early fascination with torture and death can be a disturbing sign of what's to come. Jeffrey Dahmer collected dead animals as a child, dissecting them to satisfy his morbid curiosity. Edmund Kemper took it even further. He buried Cat alive and later decapitated them, showing an early lack of empathy and a thirst for control over life. Manipulation and deception. Serial killers don't always rely on brute force. Many use manipulation to lure their victims in. They can be charming, persuasive, and skilled at hiding their true intentions. Ted Bundy pretended to have a broken arm, using a fake cast to appear helpless and trick women into helping him before attacking them. Edmund Kemper was so likable that police officers were like a friend to him. Even when he confessed, nobody believed him at first, as he appears so opposite of his true nature.
Prefer it in the cold.
What did people see?
A nice guy.
Did you like Kemper?
I like Kemper.
You were able to appear like an ordinary person, non-threatening to...
I lived as an ordinary person most of my life, even though I was living a parallel and increasingly sick life, other life. One victim let me back in the car. I locked myself out. She opened the door for me.
Environmental factors. While psychological traits and behaviors are critical in understanding serial killers, the environment in which they grow up can also play a significant role in shaping their dark paths. These external factors, like abusive childhoods, social isolation, and troubling relationships, may trigger violent tendencies or enable the development of a killer's persona. Troubled upbringing and abuse. Many serial killers come from abusive or dysfunctional backgrounds. Severe neglect, physical or emotional abuse, or growing up in an environment where violence was normalized can leave deep psychological scars that contribute to their future crimes. Aileen Wuornos, who became a notorious killer, grew up in extreme poverty, faced sexual abuse, and was abandoned by her family at a young age. This turbulent childhood led to deep emotional trauma, which many argue played a role in her violent rampage. Ed Kemper hated her mother and held his upbringing and a difficult mother responsible for his
sick,
crimes.
Angry, hungry, and very sad woman. I hated her.
Isolation and social rejection. Some serial killers struggle with feelings of alienation and rejection. Isolated from society, they may develop resentment toward the world around them and lash out in violent ways. Jeffrey Dahmer felt isolated all through his childhood and teenage years. He was bullied in school and had difficulty being open about his sexual orientation. Kemper felt misfit due to his size and was shy and isolated too. These psychological and behavioral traits are common among serial killers. The question still remains, are serial killers born or made? Although many of these killers share disturbing traits, not everyone with these characteristics goes on to commit murder. For example, people with narcissistic tendencies or a lack of empathy don't always end up as killers. Many high-powered individuals, such as CEOs, politicians, or even some doctors, display similar traits without resorting to violence. The truth is, it's not just about the traits themselves, but also the environment, experiences, and choices that shape a person. Some individuals with similar backgrounds and traits manage to live productive, nonviolent lives, while others, driven by their environment or personal choices, turn to murder. In the end, it is a personal choice. Thank you for watching Prison Stories. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the minds of some of the world's most notorious criminals.